Hello everyone, I'm Susan, and in this video I would like to present a business trade negotiation case study involving two global technology companies, Apple and Wacom. So instead of focusing on government level trade negotiation that I do in the final presentation, I choose a firm-to-firm negotiation because it allows us to clearly observe commercial interests, dependency and partner in action. So this case is particularly interesting because the negotiation was not limited pricing. It involved technology licensing, supply chain control, intellectual property right, and long-term strategic positioning. To understand this negotiation, we first need to look at the industry context. Wacom is a leading company in a wireless communication technology, especially in 4G and 5G modem chips. It owns a large portfolio of standard essential patients, meaning many smartphone manufacturers must license Wacom's technology to operate legally. Besides that, Apple, on the other hand, is one of the world's largest smartphone producers. Although Apple designs its own chips, it has historically relied on the external suppliers like Wacom for modern technologies. This created a high level of interdependence. Apple needed Wacom's advanced technology, and Wacom depended on Apple for a significant portion of its revenue. So, in 2017, the relationship between the two big companies, Apple and Wacom, broke down. Apple accused Wacom of charging excessive licensing fees, abusing its dominant market position, and also linking chip supply to licensing agreements. As a response, Apple stopped paying royalty fees and initiated legal action in several countries. And Wacom also responded by filing lawsuit against Apple, seeking import bans on phones in certain markets. So at this point, negotiation became unavoidable, but it was conducted in parallel with litigation, which increased tension and bargaining pressure. And the negotiation involved two main partners, Apple aiming to reduce costs and gain greater control over core technologies, and Wacom aiming to protect its intellectual property and licensing-based business models. So the key negotiation issues include patent licensing fees. The first one is patent licensing fees. The second one is access to modern chip supply. The third one is duration of licensing agreement, and finally is the legal settlements and future cooperation. So these issues were interconnected, meaning the concession in one area affected outcomes in others. Now, let's analyze the Apple's partner. So Apple's main alternative to reaching an agreement with Wacom were: the first one is Apple could develop own modern technologies. They could give Apple full control but required heavy investment and time. The second one, Apple could switch to alternative suppliers such as Intel. However, these suppliers were technologically behind, especially in 5G. And the third one, Apple could continue litigation to pressure Wacom into lowering fees. While Apple had strong financial resources, its bet now was weak in the short term. Product launches could be delayed. In the short term, product launches could be delayed. Network performance could suffer. The consumer satisfaction could decrease. Therefore, Apple's bet now were strategically attractive, but operationally risky. Next, we examine Wacom's bet now. Wacom's bet now will include the first one is enforcing patience through code. The second is licensing technology to older manufacturers. Next is restricting access to its most advanced chips. And finally, advanced chips. So Wacom had a strong background in terms of technology ownership. Its patients were difficult to replace, especially in the short run. However, Wacom also faced serious risks. The first one is losing Apple will significantly reduce the revenue. Next, prolonged litigation could attract the regulatory scrutiny. Next, the market uncertainty could affect the investor confidence. So Wacom's bet now was legally strong but commercially not strong enough. So in 2019, both companies reached a global settlement. The agreement includes a one-time payment from Apple to Wacom. Also include a multi-year licensing agreement and a long-term supply contract for the modern chips from Wacom. So this outcome showed that neither side bet now was strong enough to replace the corporation. Both companies, Apple and Wacom, realized that continued conflict could create more value loss than compromise. First, Batman's strength depends on timing, not just resources. Second, mutual dependence limit aggressive strategies even for the powerful firms. Finally, legal action can be used as a negotiation tool, not just a last resort. Overall, the Apple and Wacom negotiation is an excellent example of strategies business trade negotiation driven by partner consideration of two companies. So thank you for listening.